Welcome in. We are back. Episode 3, Village Legends Podcast. It is March 30th, 2025. Session-C in your area. We're about to cause some mass hysteria up in here. And we're going to talk sports all around the world. The major sports, we're going to cover them. We're going to give you our opinions. We're going to let you know what we think. We're going to talk some NCAA, March Madness, Final Four is in full effect. We're going to talk the NBA, playoffs around the corner. We're going to talk MLB and opening week. And of course, C will hit us with his boxing segment. And we'll let you know how we go from there. Ladies and gents, thank you all for coming out. Let me take it to my man C. He's going to start us off here. What up, C?
What up, good people? Here again, episode 3. Much love to everybody that's tuned in. And we're going to get right to it. NCAA tournament. One of the hottest things right now in the market, sports market, that is. I had the privilege of seeing a remarkable performance from Paige Bueckers out of the University of Connecticut. Paige is just dope, all around dope. I like her swag. Her and Juju were definitely top 1 and 2 that would be in the WNBA draft this year. And they are the headliners in the face right now of college basketball. This young girl put up 40 points and was like playing as if it was her last game of her life. Defeated is the wrong word to use. Destroyed the University of Oklahoma yesterday. Coach Ariyama, sorry, Gino. He was at all too, but it was, you know what I love about Gino? Gino, nothing really rattles him. Nothing shocks him. He's seen it all. But when he sees greatness, Gino normally comes up and speaks about it. And he paid homage to his star player.
UConn, unbelievable, by the way. Just real quick. I mean, have they lost 10 games in the last 10 years? UConn women's basketball? They might have, but it feels like they win and, they lose 2-3 games a year, and that's it as they steamroll through everybody. Great program there.
My stat might be a little off with UConn, but I tell you, one thing is for damn sure. We understand why Coach Ariyama is a Hall of Fame coach. This brother has taken some great teams to do Sweet 16s, Elite 8s, Final Fours, international championships. To my knowledge, I believe if we look it up, or this is something that I definitely should know, but I believe UConn has about 11 national championships from the women's side. And the men, are doing their numbers as well every year.
11 is correct, my brother. They have 11.
And they're just incredible. Do I have them winning a national championship? I would like to say yes on that. But, hey, I'm not gambling on this and good luck to those who are. Respectfully, gamble safe out there, people, and use your better judgment.
That's right. 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a problem. Don't forget.
South Carolina. Stand up, lady. South Carolina head coach Dawn Stanley. Y'all back into the Final Four again. Just a class. Organization, class, university. Dawn Stanley is one hell of a coach. She is definitely up there with the greats, with Gino and Kim Mulkey out of LSU. You have a list of good coaches, and I want to be clear, good people, so y'all all understand. It's not about having national championships, even though it's great. It is you need to have at least 1 or 2 under your belt, I would say. But these people really dedicate their craft into coaching, and they are away from their families, and they are really, 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 really dedicated and putting super effort into what they're doing. And I just want to give a round of applause to these coaches out here. It is a stressful career. It is definitely not easy. You have it or you don't. Bottom line, but fans want winners. Unfortunately, that is the career of pressure, but it also is for the coaches. It is the career of choice, which you decided to pick. So when you hear the criticism, It comes with the job. Coach Richard Pitino, the son of Hall of Famer Rick Pitino, is headed to Xavier and leaving New Mexico. And UC San Diego head coach Eric Olin is going to succeed him in New Mexico. We will see how that turns out. I'm a little shocked about the Richard Pitino move to Xavier, because Xavier is a basketball school. I respect them highly, but at the end of the day, I think Richard Pitino is a star in the making, close like his dad is. I would have loved to see him go to another program.
He's got the bloodline, that's for sure.
And basketball is in them 100%. The Pitino family loves basketball, folks. Yep. Elite Eight to the Final Four. Duke Blue Devils is in for the Final Four versus but Florida Gators. They are all in. Also Justin Houston Cougars are going to the Final Four as well. We stand by to see the winner of Auburn versus Michigan State.
That's whoever wins that game, it's going to be a strong Final Four. I will say, just in the interim, fuck Duke. And but we go from there. What do we got, see?
NBA hot news.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna tell you this. Let me just start by saying this: the Joker, Nikola Jokic. I don't know if you saw that pass, that no look over the shoulder pass under the basket that he threw the other day, but I'm like, wow, he's on his way to another MVP season. He's actually averaging a triple-double right now. 29.2 points per game, 12.6 rebounds per game, and 10.4 assists per game. This guy is on a mission to get another MVP. I just hope that his team is good enough to get him through the playoffs, my brother. And I know you want to talk about, that and the current storylines and where we're at if the playoffs ended today. So take us there, my brother.
Real quick, Jokic is a beast. I want to have a quick debate with Nikola Jokic, because the Joker is nasty. There's not much discussion on him. For those who are true NBA fans or true basketball fans, you all know that there should be no debate on his MVPs. The caliber player that he is, in an elite position, he stands alone. I do have, the ones that I felt were the ones who I got to go out and just say who I think I thought was the best player in the NBA, and that's my man. Giannis. But Giannis, to me, was the face. I felt was the face once he got his MVP and once he got his world championship. I felt that Giannis was going to take over the NBA. Unfortunately, things didn't go his way on that, but the Jokic is who he is, and we have to pay homage to him. The way that he plays and sets up his players, and how things run through him on that offense, and he's not a bad defensive player. The big men today in the NBA are doing some real devastating things. They're bringing back the big men of old. And that's what the league is right now. It's about big men. We ain't talking about no 6'1". We ain't talking about no 6-footers no more. We talk about giants. The NBA is straight giants. And at one point, we'll even take it back to Michael Jordan time. Michael Jordan was 6'6". And he was dominating the league with the Kobe Bryants and everybody else that came after them, Allen Iverson. But the NBA is truly about a big man's game now, and we got to respect that, Sess. Wholeheartedly.
No doubt. They're so athletic. It's ridiculous. It's just crazy. Victor Wembanyama, 7'4". I mean, the guy is a presence. I know he's out, but still, he's just a presence. Boban Marjanovic, 7'4". So it just highlights what you're saying about the NBA right now. Go for it, brother.
So real quick, to all y'all viewers out there, our listeners, I'm going to stop saying viewers. Sorry. I apologize.
One day it will be, though. We'll be there.
The viewers the listeners that are out here today, we want to sound off about and get your feeling about the LeBron James. I call it not interview, but him showing up at the Pat McAfee show. A lot of people
controversial.
Yeah, because it's crazy that he showed up for Pat, but there's other people that would love to have had LeBron on their show. And
I can't wait to hear what you got to say about LeBron here, because man, this guy kills me, bro. Go ahead, man.
So through some of his highlight, well, not highlight, but the interview with Pat, LeBron discusses how he hated Duke when he was coming up as a young buck.
There's one thing we agree on,
and but he loved and respected Coach K because the times that he played on those Olympic teams, he got to understand who Coach K truly was. He also got to see and play against some of the Duke players, and professionally got to respect him, and also competitively got to respect him as well. LeBron definitely throws his love in that direction.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think when we're kids, we were all coming up, who didn't hate Duke? Everybody looked at Duke as, they were the ones that you just wanted to hurt on a basketball court. I'm a Michigan fan, so my goal, my whole thing is go blue all day. I bleed blue, maize and blue.
We knew that was coming,
and that's just and that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Michigan all day, folks.
That's your weekly Michigan reminder, right?
At the end of the day, with the Fab Five, yes, we did lose to the Dukies, the Dukies. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yes, sir.
LeBron also talked about seeing and playing with his son, Bronny, and feeling that fatherly shake and chill. But mainly, he brings back and he talks about the time that he was with, or he actually seen, his experience was Ken Griffey and how Ken Griffey Jr. played with his father, and how Ken Griffey Jr. stole the ball in the field from his dad, and he said it left him speechless in a way. Again, I seen from what I had watched from parts of the interview with LeBron. I'm gonna tell everybody right now, we might not all like or look at LeBron from a basketball standpoint. You might not look at him as your greatest pick or the GOAT.
The GOAT.
Because I know I don't. Michael Jordan will always be the GOAT in my heart, and that's just what it is. Yeah. We came up, me and my boy Seth came up in a different era. Michael Jordan is still, to me, the greatest basketball player of all time.
Yes, sir. And by the way, Kobe is ahead of LeBron, too.
Yes, the Black Mamba goes without saying. Kobe Bryant will always be ahead of LeBron James. What I love about LeBron is that what LeBron does off the field, off the court. I'm sorry. What he did with building a school. I mean, my good people, understand. He's taken his money and his wealth, and he's done it. He's used it in a good way. Building a school for the future of our world, for our kids, inner city kids. Mind you, if those who know LeBron's story, LeBron didn't have a father. LeBron didn't grow up with his father. He grew up with his mom. And LeBron didn't have too many people that to look up to, but there were positive people in LeBron's corner, if that makes sense. LeBron stayed focused. He had that drive.
Sure
and
did.
Where he's at right now today, it's, a lot of people, he's on his 22nd season with the NBA. He came straight out of high school. And, honestly, my own personal opinion, I want to keep this real. If LeBron doesn't win the championship this year, I think he needs to retire. And, I want to turn that to my man, Sess, and I get your views on that, because that's just how I feel. I think we're just staying in the league too long.
I'm 100% with you. I think exactly as you do on this. If he wins the championship, fine, give it another run. But the first year you do not win a championship, LeBron, it's time to hang it up. I'm not trying to tell him how to play his game or live his life. But the NBA, I think, needs to move on from LeBron here shortly. And if he doesn't win the title, I'm with you 100%, brother. Getting back to that Pat McAfee interview, I thought it was a poor job by LeBron. Like you said earlier, he chose the wrong platform to go on. There were other platforms he should have went on that's more basketball centric, that'll give him, that'll talk more real than Pat McAfee, a little bit of fluff. But LeBron did say some things that were messed up. He talked about that reporter Brian Whitehorse in a way that was kind of demeaning to the guy. I felt for the guy. You know what I mean? So, it be what it be. So let's bring it back.
I'm sorry, real quick,
Yeah.
Sess. You talking about Wendy, Windhorst from ESPN.
Yeah. I don't know how to say his name. Is it Whitehorse or
What
Windhorse?
exactly did he say, Seth?
He said something about this guy's been following me since high school. It's kind of weird. You know, but meanwhile, that's the guy's job. He's supposed to follow you since high school. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. That's his work. So you kind of made him look like a little creep in a way, but the man is just doing his job. And for all intents and purposes, from what I heard in other interviews, Stephen A. Smith and a few other guys, Skip Bayless even went in his corner for this journalist and said, this guy's a nice guy. He didn't deserve that. So, a lot of people call LeBron a phony, a fraud, off the court. I don't know. All I know is that he's going to go down as one of the greatest of all time, and he has gave back to the community in a lot of ways. So we'll see. Time will tell how he's judged.
I agree. We switch over to the hot news. To those New York Yankees.
Ooh.
Ah, man.
MLB.
The Yankees, I don't know how you blasted your guy like you did, but you kept it professional. He's no longer Nasty Nestor. He's strictly Garbage Nestor. When you let off 9 home runs in a game, I don't know who the hell gave you that title, Nasty Nestor.
Crazy.
But unfortunately, they showed you that you did not matter to them or their organization. I guess you might have been tipping your pitches, buddy, because the stuff that they were sending out, over the fence and just rockets. They were sending rockets, and they knew what you were throwing. That's the most embarrassing part of it. The natural Yankee fan and natural Yankee fan base, we hate each other.
Mets fans here.
Let's be clear. Us Mets fans and Yankee fans do not like each other. But I am going to give you guys props just for today. The way that you guys shelled Nestor was just embarrassing.
Yep.
I'm just saying, take that name away from him because he's no longer Nasty Nestor. And I would not want him on our staff.
That was a sight to see. And by the way, just to throw this in, Aaron Judge is starting the season on fire. I know we're going to talk about the Mets' slow start in a minute, but just to reiterate, Aaron Judge is on fire. 5 for 11 with 4 home runs to start the season, my friend.
What is it? What is it, my good people, with these big 6'8", 7-footers? What is going on? We lack in height, but at the end of the day, we are the village legends. We are legends. So what these athletes today with their heights and it's crazy. It's absolutely ludicrous.
The athleticism is off the chart. So Aaron Judge starting off the season on fire. By the way, quick aside, I read yesterday, the Yankees are using these bats that this year never been used before that are cut a little bit different. They're cut to be fatter at the barrel, and then they taper off on both sides. So it's almost like having a little bulge right at the barrel point, and before they get lower towards the barrel. I mean, towards the cup and then the knob. So it's pretty crazy. I have a feeling they might call that illegal here in a few weeks. We'll keep checking in on that and see what we got, my brother. Mm-hmm. And of course, our New York Mets. We're going to touch on them, my friend. I know they only won 1 out of the series. They didn't hit much. Why don't you give us the breakdown how we did there?
Well, how we always have our group chat. So what is our record as we stand? Give us our total record that you always hit us with in our group chats.
So we are 160-2, ladies and gentlemen. We always start off undefeated and we work our way backwards. We are 160-2 right
now. So we're gonna go back to yesterday's game. To our listeners, my good people, Lindor 0 for 4, Soto 1-3 with a walk and a ribby, Alonso 0 for 4, Nimmo 0 for 3 with a walk, Vientos 0 for 4, Winker 0 for 2, Terrens 0 for 2 with a walk, Beatty, and I say Beatty with emphasis.
Mm-hmm.
It is time for you to step up, young gun.
Mm-hmm.
It's sorry if I said young gun, young horse, young stallion. You are from the state of Texas, Austin, I believe. And then you've been injured. You see what Mark Vientos, the guy that you came up with, has been doing. Beatty, it is your time to shine.
It's now or never. I agree.
You went 0 for 3. And Siri, you got some speed, kid. I like what you're doing. There's been talks about how, basically you might have been a problem with other teams in the past, but we're not doing that in New York. Not with the New York Mets.
No.
And they will tame this lion that you perceive to be. You went 0-2 with a walk and a run. But I tell you, that run was woo! You're quick, kid. I like what I see from you. You're real quick. And that's what we need. We need that speed.
Yes, sir. Let me get back to Beatty real quick. I want to just touch on him, brother, because you're absolutely right. Beatty, your time is now. Don't waste it. You could be a star in this city. It's go time. We got Luis Angel Acuna on the roster, and that boy is a baller. He is a baller, folks. You heard it here first. I don't know if he'll be better than his brother, but he might have a few better seasons than his brother under his belt when it's all said and done. So all I'm saying is, Beatty, he'll take your spot, and then we'll bring up another guy from the minors. We're stacked down there. So, it is what it is. It's his time now or never.
Says who it's funny that we brought up Acuna. Acuna is a talented kid. I'm not trying to be funny, my good people, but from Acuna, with Acuna, he's the same height as my man, as the dude from the second baseman from Atlanta Braves.
Albies, Ozzie Albies.
Albies, yes. Forgive me. So it's weird how that they are pretty much the same height, and it just seems like they play similar. But I truly believe that Ronald not Ronald. I'm sorry,
Luis Angel. Yeah,
Luis Angel is going to be something different moving forward. He is a special kid.
He had a great at bat the other night,
and it's in the blood.
Yeah, it's in there.
It's in the Acuna blood. Yeah. So I'm looking forward and I'm excited for him because they gave him a spark last year. They gave him the opportunity to give us a spark last year. So I'm very excited for him.
Was that our extra point of the day?
I want to say...
Was that our extra point right there? Was Acuna our extra point? Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. The extra point is something we didn't plan on talking about, but it came to us. You know how that goes. We don't want to hold nothing back from you.
So we're going to talk about boxing.
Ooh, you know what that means. Hold up. Don't jump the gun, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not jump the gun. We're going to talk about boxing, and that's my man C Flash 5's boxing segment of the week. And you know what that means. Give it to me, brother.
So, want to say congratulations to Michaela Mayer, record 21-2. She's also the current, one of the women's current stars in boxing. She was victorious, defeating welterweight, Sandy Ryan. And the talk is a lot of people would like to see her fight Lauren Price, who's 9-0.
I don't know much about women's boxing, so please educate us, my brother. Tell us what's going on.
It was a brawl. It is a heated rivalry. I believe, to my knowledge, they fought before, but this fight here was pure dominance. A lot of power punches thrown.
Shout out to her.
When you have a lot of power punches thrown in a fight, it is a hated rivalry, and it is something that they really want to just hurt each other because they don't like each other. It's not even about the respect now. It was about just trying to put somebody in the hospital, and pause, not trying to say that in a hateful way. But boxing is a dangerous sport.
Yes, it is.
I've always felt sort of weird watching the violence go to the women's side. But at the end of the day, I understand it, and we all understand
You gotta let them fight.
Sports is sports.
Let them fight.
Doesn't matter if it's woman or male. These women were throwing as if like their lives depended on it. So, so the hype now is to try to get Lauren Price, who's also a welterweight. To my understanding, Michaela Mayer called her out on that after her victory. So we hope to see that fight take place in the future.
Nice.
I also want to give a shout out to Dana Hall, UFC president, because to my understanding, he's going to be in connection moving forward with setting up boxing fights as well.
I heard about that. Dana White, yes.
White, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I stand corrected again, stand corrected. Dana White is literally, he started his career with boxing, folks. To be clear, for those who are not aware, let's educate you. Dana White started his career promoting and getting involved with boxing first before he went to the UFC.
I heard about this. Will he be able to make? I know it's like he wants to set up, different divisions and kind of like their own kind of league, I guess, in a way. Will they be able to bring boxing back? Do you think?
As long as we're not trying to shortchange and cheat boxers and the fans, the fan base is what keeps boxing alive. We're, again, I say this and I mean this in a real sincere way, but in a factual way. We're the ones that are paying for the cable buys. We're the ones the fans that is. We're the ones that are supporting these boxers when they're promoting fights.
Yep.
You need the fans because the fans is what makes you your money. But at the same token, I also feel for boxers because a lot of boxers have been cheated. They've had the wrong people in their corner. These boxers are putting their lives on the line. It only takes one punch to the brain to, put an end to your career. Again, pause. I don't want to scare anyone, but this is what boxing is about. So we have to be clear and understand that. Pay them their money, and also don't cheat the fans because the fans are hardworking Americans or hardworking people across the world who want to see these fights. And these fights are important to us. So I'm hoping that Dana Hall puts an end to it and he makes the fights that should be happening happen. Enough is enough. Stop worrying about your L and your loss column to remain zero. That's not how this works. You have to fight. If your skills are that great, you will be great. At the end of the day, we stop shortchanging the boxing fan base, and that's my only debate. That's my problem. Again, Dana Hall, bring it.
Dana White, and by the way, this has been your point for the first 3 weeks of the show, and I couldn't agree more. So, good stuff, my brother. I appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. My man C is gonna hit up a little bit of sports action, sports betting action for us, real quick. Give us some of the lines of the night for tonight.
I have two right now. Good people. I only have two for the sporting lines.
These are the featured two of the night. C's featured two of the night. Go for it, brother.
I want to say Michigan State versus Auburn. The University of Auburn is favored by 6. Michigan State record 30-6. Auburn is 31-5. The over and under for the over, they're saying 149. MLB tonight, the Atlanta Braves 0-3 versus the San Diego Padres 3-0. The over for runs would be 9, and the money line wager would be 145 going towards San Diego.
Nice, my brother. Nice. I'll tell you right now, my pick in the first action, I would take Auburn in the over. And for the Braves Padres matchup, I'm going to take the over on the runs tonight. I'm not going to touch that 145, but I'll just take the over. That's it. Yep.
I could be wrong, but I'm gonna sit there and say I'm gonna stick with the Michigan State Spartans. Tom Izzo is a hell of a coach, hell of a basketball coach. And not to take anything away from Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl, another hell of a basketball coach. But I'm going to stick with the Michigan State Spartans. I think they might have something. I could be also mad at the fact that Auburn whooped my Michigan Wolverines, but that's okay. Man. That's just me. I'm going to speak my truth. Don't matter how y'all feel. I'm saying, hey, you're not going to beat both Michigan teams.
Here's my prediction of the night. My man C is going to retire to Michigan. He's going to get a nice place right outside of the big stadium, overseeing that Touchdown Jesus. When he wakes up every morning with his coffee, he's going to see Touchdown Jesus overlooking. Am I right or wrong, my brother? You get in there. Come on now.
As far as the Atlanta and San Diego, good luck. At the end of the day, it's still the beginning part of the season, folks. Real quick, it is still the beginning of the season, folks.
It's a long
season. Do not jump the gun.
Yep. This is when we do our hits and misses. Go ahead, brother. Give us what we missed. Hit it. Give it to us.
What would be, in your personal opinion, if the NBA playoffs were to start today, who are you going with? Give me your top 5 to head to the finals as well.
I'm such a Knicks fan.
So let's start with the Eastern Conference.
I'm such a Knicks fan that it's tough to not put them in the mix, but I also have to be realistic. Can they get past the Detroit? I don't know. So the top 5 teams for me right now overall, top 5 teams though for me, the Celtics are up there, the Cavaliers, the Bucks, the Thunder, and the Nuggets. Those are my top 5 teams right now. The Celtics, the Cavaliers, the Thunder, and the Nuggets. That's how I'm seeing it. I don't know who will come on top. NBA playoffs are ridiculously long. They literally last like a month, maybe even longer. So we'll talk about that as we get there, my brother. But those are my top 5 right now.
Real quick, Seth.
Yeah.
Real quick. Let's give a round of applause to Detroit.
Yeah.
The Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the Detroit
We're
Pistons?
talking about Detroit. We haven't talked about them.
3-time NBA champions, but do you know what they've gone through?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. It's something. It is something.
Well, those who have already, staked their claim in the playoffs would be the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Boston Celtics,
clinched.
Clinched. Mm-hmm. The New York Knickerbockers.
Yep.
The Pacers are trying to hold strong. Again, how many teams are able to make the playoffs from each conference, Seth?
The playoffs is, I believe, 8 teams from each side. Yeah. 1 versus 8, and et cetera, yeah. So I guess they have their, do they have the wild card? I don't even know how it works. They have no, it's just the first round. Mm-hmm. It's 8 teams from each side. That's it. 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, et cetera.
Okay. Again, what I see, I'm going by what I see off the paper. So, we cannot count out the defending NBA champions, and that's the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
I see, hold on. Let me pump my brakes. Cause, I've never been a Knicks fan, and, to all my Knicks fan listeners out there, and also to my boy, my best friend here, who's a Knicks fan.
Yes, sir.
I think the Knicks are going to go further than what a lot of people think. I like what I'm seeing from the New York Knickerbockers, and they are looking dangerous. Again, the shocker this year is the Detroit Pistons. When you change the culture and you got a good coach, players will follow. Do not sleep. I say this again, do not sleep on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Greek freak, Giannis DeCumpo.
Antetokounmpo.
Giannis.
Just call him Giannis.
Forgive me. I tried. But Giannis, your name is long. Again, you were still a dangerous brother on that basketball court. So I tell everybody, do not count you out, because Giannis, you are a dominant force in the NBA, and people better also give you respect. Western Conference, excuse me. Says, who do you got in your top 5?
Well, I gave you a top 5 overall. I just gave you my whole top 5. If I go just for the Western Conference, let me see. I would give you the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Grizzlies, and the Warriors. And the Warriors, I feel like, you know, they could just move up a couple notches as Steph gets playoff ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess listen, I like to see, I see the score. I see their record at 42-31. The Warriors are looking like they will make the playoffs. It's just the fact that these bones are getting older. Father Time is undefeated.
Yes.
Steph Curry is still magical, so I'm not going to count him out yet. It's just, I think there's going to be a lot of teams and a lot of fans that are going to be shocked by the outcome with the Western Conference. The Western Conference, folks, is stacked. I mean, just looking at OKC, their record, and I say this again, folks, so please put your ear closer to the speaker. OKC is 62-12.
Amazing.
In a professional basketball league. And Ja Morant, welcome back. You still keeping your team golden, my brother. 44-30. I believe breaking news for this. I believe the past couple of days. I believe it happened a couple of days ago. Memphis Grizzlies fired their head coach, and I think it was warranted, because this is a win or lose league. If you're not winning, the pressure mounts on you. He has taken the Memphis Grizzlies to the playoffs, I believe maybe 3 or 4 times, but your record is 44-30. I'm sort of shocked with the fact that they fired this man. You know, again, there plays a lot of where we have to face reality as well, because again, I understand the ownership want to win, but we're talking about uprooting a man and his family, who's actually winning. His record has shown that he's a good coach. And
he was shocked, by the way. So this came out of nowhere for him, and I agree with you 100%. My man was winning, so there's more to that story. We'll probably get to that at some point, but
I hope so.
Yeah, because that's crazy.
This has to stop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with college or professional sports, this has to stop. This can't go on.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are really there. Some of these coaches get there at 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, and they don't leave, until about 8 o'clock at night. They're not with their families.
There's something going on there. Something went down.
Well, I mean, if any fan or anyone who's looking into the NBA, obviously it has to do with normally what happens with the firing of a coach. A star player or players get together and say, hey, you know, yada, yada, and this in the next third.
Well, let's hope not, because they've been saying for a few years now that the coaches, that the players run the league in the NBA. So that would suck to hear that one of his own players got him ousted. at 13 games or 14 games over 500. That's crazy.
I mean, if we could ever do a special edition, I would like to definitely make that be our special topic of how the players of the NBA run out coaches. And I think that needs to stop. At the end of the day, I don't care who you are. You are not God. And you are there to play a game that you are getting paid to play. There should be no control of you coming off the court and being in the executive office or being a GM or the president of operations. At the end of the day, yeah, we want to keep the star player. But yes, please voice your concerns. But because you don't like the way of a coach might have yelled at you and you caught feelings, now you're telling me we got to fire that coach who's had a hell of a damn record?
Yeah.
Spare me the BS.
Yeah, don't be so soft.
Yes.
Crazy. But yeah, absolutely, my brother. So yeah, this is the hits and misses portion of the podcast where we go back and we rewind and get to stuff we didn't get to. And one of the things I wanted to talk about real quick when we were on that Mets talk was Juan Soto. Now, Juan Soto, I saw him a lot when he was on the Nationals. The Mets, as you know, they would play him 18 times a year. So we got to see him a lot when he was first coming up. Then he went to San Diego. We saw him a little less. Then he went to the Yankees. We saw him a little less. Now he's on our team. And I just got to say, man, he's been on base twice every single game so far. He's 3 for 9 on the season with 4 walks. As I watch him, and you know my love for baseball, and I feel sometimes that I have like a sixth sense for baseball. As I watch him, he's one of the best hitters that I've ever seen in my life. And the reason I say that, folks, is because Juan Soto is in control when he's up at the plate. The pitcher is not in control when Juan Soto's at the plate. Other times, when Francisco Lindor is hot, when he's on his streak, he's in control. When Mark Vientos is killing the ball and he's got, 10 RBIs in 5 games, he's in control. But for the most part, the pitcher is in control, but not against Juan Soto. Juan Soto is in control of almost every single at bat. You see his mind at work. You see his wheels spinning. You see him adapt from pitch to pitch, where when he understands what's happening and he knows what's about to come, his body language tells you so. The pitcher, he looks at the pitcher right in the eye and says, yep, I got you. Now, he did strike out with the game on the line. I'm not going to kill him for that. It was Josh Hader. He was throwing gas. If you guys notice, the next night he faced Josh Hader again, he did not get one fastball. Hader threw him 5 straight sliders and he walked them. That tells you all you need to know. Juan Soto, a tremendous hitter. Let's go to our newest segment now. We're going to do a quick thing. Sports birthdays. Today, again, is March 30th, 2025. Today's birthdays in sports. Happy birthday to Jerry Lucas, the old-time basketball player. We ain't got much to say about him. I don't know much about him. Happy birthday to Alex Bregman, the new Boston Red Sox player, formerly of the Houston Astros, right-handed slugger. Happy birthday to cornerback Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman's interesting. Was he as good as he thought he was, Richard Sherman? Because he would tell you he was the best cornerback of his era. Was he really that good, Richard? What do you think?
Longevity means a lot.
That's a good point.
I think if Richard Sherman played about close to 20 years in the NFL, yes.
You got to give him his props.
You have to give him his props.
Absolutely.
Yes. Give him his cookies, his props, whatever you need.
So is he a top 5 corner of all time? In your opinion?
Top 5, top 10. I say top 10.
Top 10? All right. Yeah. Top 10 is fair. I'll probably give him top 10 too, so that's cool. So happy birthday, Richard Sherman. Happy birthday, Sergio Ramos, the world-class footballer, soccer player, defender from Spain. Sometimes a dirty player, but, one of the best in the world in his prime.
Happy birthday, King.
And, of course, happy birthday to Secretariat, the great horse who won the Triple Crown, Secretariat. Happy birthday. Guys, thank you so much for being with us for episode 3, Session C Village Legends Podcast. As always, my man C will take us out with a message. Thank you so much once again, guys. We'll see you next time. C, take us away.
Good people, once again, we love y'all. Thank y'all for showing us support. And God bless. Good night and enjoy your week. We out.
Peace.